What's going on, you guys? It's me, AnarchYxNinja. So today Andor has came out. The first 3 episodes have came out, and they have been what? This dude teabagging? What? You disrupted me, bro. Let me tell my story. Didn't expect to see dude teabagging a dead bot, but anyway. Welcome to Battlefront 2, you guys. Anyway, spoiler warning for all 3 episodes. I don't know where to begin. I'm not good at this type of stuff. We literally just finished watching. I got on and now we're talking. Overall, did I enjoy the show? Yes. The 3 episodes I enjoyed. It definitely has its own unique feel compared to like Mando Season 3 or even Ahsoka. It took a very different, unique approach. Kind of very similar to the first season, which is good. They did do the 3 episode formats per story, so we had like the beginning, middle, end of this story here, a couple stories they told, and then next week we'll get 3 more episodes telling another beginning and middle of end of a story. But my overall complaint is, again, let me put this out, I enjoyed it, but I did have some things that caught my eye, and I could definitely see why they had to release 3 episodes at the same time. Because again, I enjoyed those 3 episodes. I really liked the tension building. But some of them did get a little bit slow. And then when you... Now picture, we just got to watch all 3 back to back to back. And I assume that's most of you. You watch them back to back relatively quickly. You know, you're not waiting 3 weeks between each episode like we would have done in the first season. If they had released those 3 episodes over a 3-week span, I would be complaining big time. Because I didn't feel the build-up for the beginning, middle, and end. Again, episode 1, 2, 3, beginning, middle, end. I didn't feel the payoff for that episode, or that series of episodes, was good enough. Again, I liked a lot of what was happening in there. But I just feel like they didn't stick the landing when it came to the ending. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But I felt like that's where they're missing the mark compared to a bigger show, where they can nail the landing. Where here we built up, the first 3 episodes were kind of slow. Good, but slow. And I'm like, alright, but don't worry, episode 3 is where the action's really gonna, you know, shit's gonna hit the fan, this is gonna be good. I like what they're setting up. They're setting up a lot of awesome stuff on Gorman, or Gorman, however you pronounce it. Potato, you know, whatever. I really like what they're doing with that. And I still like the 3 format system, but it just felt like at the end, for example, when they didn't kill, again, I'm bad with names, even though I just watched it, they didn't kill the one politician who started snooping around. I love how they set that up. It was awesome, but the payoff wasn't there because they didn't do it. Now, that's where I'm a little confused. That's the part that probably confuses me the most, because I thought that was going to be the big thing, where you officially see Mon Mothma, what's the word? Go to that part. Like, she's in the rebellion, right? She's setting it up, doing a good job of it, but she hasn't got to that part where they're willing to start, go. In her point of view, murdering people. In my point of view, if I'm in her shoes, this guy's gonna talk, I'm saving my allies. So, you know, they're gonna kill the guy. Rightfully so. Luthen, MLG Pro, he knows how to handle shit. Good man. They should kill him. I just feel like they should have showed it in that episode and maybe ended it on that instead of just alluding to it. Now, my concern is, like we said, they're doing the 3 episode format. I'm like, okay, but you just ended this whole story, one of the stories in this arc of the story was them building up to this confrontation between Mon Mothma and whatever that senator, whatever his name is, I can't remember the name, but forgive me, put it in the comments below. They were building to that. So now, you get to that point and you don't kill him. Now, we are alluding to it, he's gonna die, I would imagine. But my point is, you should have showed it. And 2, if you carry that over to the next episode, aren't you kind of breaking the 3 episode format? Now, I'm not saying they can't carry things over, there will be things that get carried over. But I just felt like that was the thing they should have shot. Because it was such a good shot seeing Mon Mothma dancing and, you know, drinking like, oh my god, we're doing this, I need to let go because this is getting crazy. She was, you know, was getting overwhelmed. But she's having her moment at the party, and Luthen, instead of being there partying, is orchestrating what needs to get done. You know, doing the dirty work as he should. And again, it's the right move. And so they build up. I like this build up. They keep cutting away to the other parts of the stories that are going on with Andor and going on in other areas. I like this build up. This build-up's good. This build-up's good. Oh, yeah. There's innuendos in there, but I ain't gonna say them because we're not trying to get demonetized. This vid gotta go up right after we post it. We ain't got time. But they're building up to it, and then they just allude to it at the end. And I'm like, I think you should have shown it. And no, I'm not saying we need to get graphic, but I think we should have seen it play out. Because it felt like you built up, and then you didn't show it. I'm like, okay, that's a little annoying to me. And the other thing they did that I like and also didn't like, I guess it depends on when you look at it. Early on in the 2 episodes, they were doing a lot of cutting back and forth between characters, which I like. Game of Thrones is an example, especially early on. They did that. They wouldn't just stick with one character throughout the show. They told multiple stories at once. And that's good. But early on in the first 2 episodes, I felt like it was getting... They would cut away right when the action gets good and then go somewhere else. I felt like they were cutting away at not the best time. So going forward, I want to see if they keep doing that or they're able to stick the shot slightly better. Again, it's not bad. I know it sounds like I'm saying it's bad, but this is what stood out to me the most, where I'm like, don't cut away as much. I don't mind cutting away and telling different stories, but let's not overdo it, is what I'm saying. Don't get to the action part and then cut away right when it starts. You gotta let the action play out. And early on, they kind of cut. In episode 3, I liked the cuts. They did a much better job with them, I thought. But the first 2 episodes, I was a little, like, wonky on it. Like, come on, dude. Things are a little slow. Good, but a little slow. Let's try to pick it up a little bit here. And everybody's teabagging, dude. Hey, clam slam. Hold up, sorry. We got double clam slam. Double, please, for the love of God. Double clam slam. No double clam slam. Okay, well, sorry. Not their type. I just feel like they could have stuck it a little better, and it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Overall, I still loved it. I love the way they were shooting it. They did a really good job tension building that episode, or those episodes. I keep acting like it's one, but they did a really good job with that. But I can definitely see, and I haven't looked at anyone else's opinion on this show. I haven't watched any videos. I watched anything. I watched 3 episodes. I got off, got on. I haven't looked at Twitter. Hadn't looked at nothing. This is solely our opinion, and I could definitely see people saying it was too slow. For 3 episodes, there should have been more, and I can agree with you to a certain extent on that. I thought it should have been better, because usually when a season starts, for instance, they don't do a 3-episode format, they do 1, but usually towards the end of the episode, they have something really exciting happen, and there was some exciting stuff here. Don't get me wrong, I'm not acting like it was boring, but I felt like they just didn't grasp that as good as they could. They had it, and they let it slip through their fingers. I still think the murder, depending on how you look at it, would have been the icing on the top of the cake. And it doesn't need to be graphic, just showing what happened and have that moment, you know, like, oh, shit just got real. Don't just allude to it. Again, we don't need to go Game of Thrones levels of graphic, but, you know, just let it pan out. Like, for example, one of the things I really liked, and this is going to sound wrong the way I word this, and if I use that word, YouTube moderators might not like it, but the scene, I don't know her name, but with the officer and the lady, and you know what was about to go down, Star Wars would never think of doing that before, where they're willing to push it to that level. Because again, remember, this is kid show. Think of Mando. Do you picture in Mandalorian, season 1, 2, or 3, they would have a potential R-word situation between a guy and a girl happening? It's not going to happen, especially in season 3. They went down a whole path of, yay, you know, Grogu. They aren't doing that in that type of a show, and Andor dares to do it. Now, my point is, in the season 1, they were willing to show Andor execute people. Even though they cut away, it wasn't graphic. They didn't go overboard. I'm not saying we need to see eyeballs popping out, right? They were still willing to show it. Where here, they kind of toned back. Now, again, they could show it in episode 4. Maybe they're making the actual pew-pew moment a big deal where they're going to actually show more of it. It's not going to just be, they're going to take them out back, leave the gun, take the cannoli, and shoot them. There might be more to it in Luthen's plan. So maybe that's why we're saving it for episode 4, so we'll have to see. Which I kind of hope is what happens now. I still think that's kind of weird to do when you're going to do a 3-episode story thing. I thought you should have concluded that in this episode. But again, it sounds like I'm complaining, but we're trying to break things down specifically. That's where I'm a little confused. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. But for example, if next week the episodes come out and they don't show that murder and they just, oh my god, this guy died, that's going to annoy me. I'm not going to be honest. That's going to annoy me. You should have showed it. You almost showed a R-word, which, again, great scene. I really liked it. But, you know, you should have showed this to a certain extent. And I think that would have sealed the deal a little more for me on these 3 episodes. We did lose what's-his-face. I don't remember names. Big muscle guy. Not Abby. I'm talking about the dude here. He died. I was a little concerned though that he wasn't dead. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of thought that last shot when they showed his body, I thought he was gonna move, and I'm like, uh-oh, we got drama with Andor? What's going on here? He leaving his homie? I don't know. That was my gut. I'm hoping he's dead because I don't want any drama. I don't want extra drama. Let's get to the point. Let's see the big story, right? I want to get to the Gorman scenes, to be completely honest. Maybe I'm just a little evil dude, but I kind of want to see this plan pan out. I kind of want to see the Empire having to take over by force. Even though it sounds like they're going to do like a resistance movement there and try to get rebellions to pop up in their favor, blah, 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 blah. I'm still kind of hoping we get to see the Empire just, like, go in there. Like, maybe it pans out a little too slow and the Emperor's like, enough of this, dude. Get in there, bro. Send the Star Destroyers. Take over. Hush, hush. You know. By the way, we're just going to talk while we sit here in the main menu. So, you know, hey. This is mainly an Andor video. You're not here for the gameplay. So, I'm really looking forward to that. Now, another arc of the story, I'm like 50-50 on. And I bet you guys know the arc I'm about to allude to. And again, I don't know that. Dedra Miro, I know her name. I don't remember. Syril, the weird office guy who's... I didn't fully like it, but I also did. I don't know. I don't know how to... You know, because again, the episodes were a little slow to me. Not bad, but a little slow. That scene with his mom, I didn't really think we needed it, but I really liked when Dedra Miro, I hope I'm saying her name right, God forbid I'm wrong, was just kind of like, let's cut the crap, dude. I'm gonna kill you, basically. I'm paraphrasing. She didn't really allude to that. You know, she was being forceful negotiator, but the Imperial in her came out where I'm like, dude, she's literally just a housewife. That's cool they got together. I have no problem with that. I do personally enjoy seeing Star Wars houses and shit like that. I know not everybody would, especially when episodes might be slow to you. All right, we're gonna back out and just look for a new game while we talk. But it went in a little too much for it because, man, I'm thinking evil thoughts. If that's my mom, you're gonna have problems. Like, me and my mom are not gonna, we're not playing the games. I wouldn't need my big girlfriend or wife, whatever they are at this point, to step in for me. I'm like, this bitch ain't coming to see me. No offense, Mom. If I'm in the Empire, you might be disappearing if you were acting that way. Like, I could, that would not work with me. So, that kind of made me feel like he's a little... I can't use the word, but a bitch. We'll whisper it. Hopefully they didn't hear it. But I did like see a Miro, like, just kind of like, be quiet, you stupid. You know, I like that part. But I also, you know, I'm like, I'm 50-50 on it. I know. I don't think a lot of people are going to like it, though. You're going to have the one side who's like, yay, we get to see Mama, whatever her name is. You know, you got those on Twitter who are just screaming happy, happy thoughts for everything. I try to give you real opinions, not just everything's happy. You know, I liked it and I didn't like it. I don't know. If the episodes had been a little quicker, I think I could have overlooked it a lot more and I would have liked it a lot more. But either way, I'm going to be honest, even though I just said everything here and to some people it might come off negative, I still enjoyed this so much more than Acolyte already. I enjoyed this more than Mando. Ahsoka might still be winning for me as of right now in the first episodes because I feel like they got to a point and did something where here... I felt like it was drawn out a little too long. 3 episodes for you guys to leave this wheat planet. Don't know the name of the planet. I forget. I feel like that payoff could have been a little better. I kind of thought, and again, this is partly my own fault, admittedly. You got to be careful coming up with ideas on what you think's going to happen. Because then if it doesn't, it lets you down. I kind of thought, based off episode 1, by the time of episode 3, we would be getting something about... what's going to happen, the operation on Gorman. And we didn't get any of that, really. We had little talks here and there, which I liked the talks. I did like the talks between Qyburn, I don't know his name here, but I know it from Game of Thrones, but Qyburn and Dedra, I liked their conversations. But I kind of thought we would move more toward that. So obviously they're keeping that for the big one. That will probably pan out, I'm guessing, in the last 3 episodes of the season. I think they're saving that. So it just felt like we were building up to that, and then they kind of just stopped, and now we're going to see his mom having that meeting, which I'm like, I don't know. But I'm going to be kind of honest, though. Dedra Miro, visually, doesn't do it for me, but maybe I have a fetish, but I'm like, her being all stern, I'm like, God damn, this is going to be fun, but we're not going to go into that. It's not beating Padme for me, but I'm just saying, I'm like, I like you, Dedra. I like you. I don't like you, but I like you at the same time, you know? But the guy, Syril, I'm going to be honest, he gets on my nerves, dude. That guy gets on my nerves. But what I'm hoping for, we can't find games, by the way. Well, we're just going to talk over this while we struggle to find a game and somebody tells me, yeah, I find games easy. Well, here you go. Let's see what servers we're on. We'll switch that. I kind of think with Syril, and again, this is risky because I'm thinking and, you know, kind of hoping for a certain thing, and if something else happens, it might change it, right? I'm hoping there's a big payoff for his character. I need to see something. And no, I don't mean him turn to the rebellion. I need to see him have his snap moment. Because they're building up to him holding in a lot of stuff, basically. You know he's getting mad, and he kind of showing it at the table with his mom, slamming stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like they're building him up to... He's going to have a moment where he just snaps. And now this is completely out of left field. This is just speculation, and I'm not even entirely committing to this as a possibility. We're just using it as an example, right? I kind of got the vibe Dedra was hesitant on this plan. She didn't like the sound of what they were going to do on Gorman, right? Would that be a character, or those... How do you want to... What's the word for it? It would be a possibility to show the difference between those characters. Because as of right now, Dedra is wearing the pants of the family. Let's be honest. There go the woke people. They're going to get mad, right? But she's wearing the pants. Syril kind of just, you fall in line and you do, you know. He's very, I follow orders, yes sir, yes ma'am, right? What if when the time comes to take care of Gorman, right? And I would imagine they're going to go through with it because we know the Death Star gets made, right? I would imagine we're going to get to that point where we're going to see some gruesome shit, which, again, I can't wait for. What if Dedra keeps trying to, you know, stop herself or even warn the Alliance or the Rebellion at this point, and Syril wants to go through with it because he just snapped and he's in, let's just get rid of him, you know? I don't know. Complete idea. I'm not even saying that's what's happening. I'm just, like, giving an example. I think we might see a scene with him where he just snaps and he's like, let's do this, bro. Like, if he was on the Death Star, right? And he was pressing a button to blow a planet up, he would have no problem doing it. Where Dedra, I'm like, she's kind of staying back. He's probably like, I'm going to pick... He's going to be like the dude from Suicide Squad. The second one. The dude who sees his mom everywhere. He's like, you need to blow up not Coruscant. You need to blow up Alderaan. Oh, I don't know if I could do it. But then you see Syril, he's going to picture it, and it's going to be a big head of his mom. That's the plan. And he's like, boop. And he blows that thing up. I think we're going to get to that with him. It's building up. And I don't feel like the build-up, at least as of now, would make sense if he then would to go to the good guy side. And frankly, I'm going to be honest, I know we'll probably see some of that to a certain extent. I don't want to see them going to the light side. I want people to stay bad guys and ride it out. Like we know Krennic does. We already did see that one girl in episode 1 betray, but that's not a big character. It makes sense, right? You're going to have loyalists or people who don't like the system that are working for you. So that I'm not using that as a negative. But I mean more for the big characters like Dedra or Syril, I think, whatever his name is. I'm horrible with names, dude. You know, when we did see the one guy betray the Andor's friends, horrible with names, on whatever planet that was, horrible with planet names too. But he did betray him, and I'm like, oh, okay, dang, that's messed up, but okay. So we did see some people be bad. That was one of the things I liked about the first season was bad guys were bad, and they were able to be smart. They were competent bad guys. They might lose, but they were competent. They weren't just, let's go have jokes. Oh my God, he's clearly using me and win. I'm alluding to the Last Jedi here, and especially the scene 1 between Hux and whatever the pilot's name is. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? None of that joking, and then he wins, and one ship takes out a whole Star Destroyer or some, you know, none of that. They don't do that, which I like in this story. But anyway, what are you guys thinking? I know some of you ain't gonna like it. I know some of you probably gonna love it. I'm more towards the loving it side, even though we said a lot of things. But again, we're trying to, in an educated way, talk about it. We're not just like, this is so woke, bro. Oh my God. You know, not that, and not the opposite side where they just love everything Star Wars. Let's be real. I thought the story with the first 3 episodes could have been better. Not bad, but it could have been better. I think they could have stuck the landing better, is all I'm saying. And I'm going to keep an eye on that going forward, because if they do that for every, you know, conclusion of each story, it's going to be a letdown. But I don't think they're going to do that. So, yeah. What else? I know I'm missing stuff. Still in it's not a, what TIE fighter is that? It's not an Avenger, right? What is that one? It's not the one Thrawn made either, was behind. Man, what are these I don't know if this is a new one or we've seen it before. I don't know. I'm not a ship expert. I like the whole Steel in It arc. That was fun. You know, one arc we didn't talk about, and I'm kind of torn on. I'm kind of torn on this arc as well. Was when he landed on what I would believe is Yavin, because it showed the temples. I would imagine that was Yavin, but correct me if I'm wrong. That group with those little rebels, dude, I'm gonna be honest, they were annoying me, to be honest. That's probably my least favorite part of it. They were annoying the out of me, dude. That little bickering and infighting, and I get they do it, but it was the closest thing to Disney type characters for me, where Andor's willing to take a more adult approach. They really started sounding more childish to me there, and I don't know. It didn't sell it for me. I didn't dislike it. The graphics looked awesome, and some of the stuff that happened, I liked it. It was showing how smart Andor was. Kind of, even though he's the prisoner, was still kind of manipulating him. Like, you need to set a perimeter, or not manipulating him, I guess would be the wrong word, but you know, leading him. Like, he could see the rookie on him. You know, they're noobs basically. It's like, you don't set up a perimeter. Hey, why don't you guys start collecting rainwater? You know, hey, these guys got quiet. Maybe you should look. It shows the difference between the real ones and then the noobs, right? So I did like that aspect of it, but I felt like the noobs got a little too teenagers-y with guns, you know, and I don't know. That felt more like something out of what we would have seen in, what's the show called? Skeleton Crew, than we would have seen in Andor. Again, I didn't hate it, but if I had to pick a least favorite thing to see, it would have probably, been that. And it probably will pan out. We're obviously, if that is Yavin, which I'm pretty sure it is, we're going back there, so I'm sure those guys are going to factor into the story at some point, I would imagine. But if I had to choose a least favorite thing, it would be his time on that planet with those guys. It did kind of jump scare me though when that monster came out of nowhere though. I'm not a dude. It's hard to get me with jump scare, but I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was just going to come running out like that. I'm like, you got me a little bit, but other than that, I'm like, I don't know. Oh, there's a Grievous on me? Oh my goodness, bro. But again, let me know your thoughts. And again, try to make it educated thoughts. Whether you like it or not, don't just say, it's woke, bro. Did you see the lady wearing pants? None of that. You don't have to like it. I get why people would dislike it, frankly. And I'm trying to think, do I like the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 1 or Season 2 better? I don't know on that one yet. But I definitely could see why. Again, my big point is, imagine if they really, and again, really, doesn't matter how much you love it or hate it as of right now. Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. You too, bitch. I see you. Close your damn eyes. And now picture, instead of getting all 3 episodes released at once, you watch them all, 1 a week. And it takes 3 weeks to get through these episodes. We're going to have problems, I think. Which kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like, it does help to release the episodes at different times. I think it's a wise move. You're able to do the story a little slower, and it's much more doable compared to doing the 3 weeks thing. I actually hope other shows learn from this, where you need to, there's times it's better to release a series of episodes and not just the first 2 like they like doing. Like, tell the story that's going to be told. If you think the story's going to be told slow, you know you're going to get people not liking it. You need to release them at once, because it makes it way more digestible, especially for me, because I couldn't help but feel, especially when I kind of felt like they didn't stick the landing for episode 3, they could have been a little better. It's like, it was really good, and then the cherry on top, you missed, you dropped it on the floor, right? It's like, if you had done that and I had to wait 3 weeks, I would have been annoyed. I'm going to be honest. I would have been in the camp where I'm like, you needed to have better first 3 episodes. But when they come all out at once, I can digest them. Like, all right, I didn't waste a long time waiting. We're gonna get to the next story quick. I wonder where Cassian and them are gonna go. I wonder what's gonna happen. You know. Yeah. Anyway, overall, I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it more than Skeleton Crew, because again, Skeleton Crew just, I'm not saying they shot it bad. It wasn't a story that would be for me. You know, I'm not into the Goonies type stuff. This is a more adult approach, especially again what happened with the one lady about to get, you know, forcefully. So I'm just like, okay, I love that they're willing to go to that level, and I only hope they continue to do it. And I think it will be on the Gorman scene, especially where it's probably gonna get, you know, extra dark. I would hope. You know, it kind of gives me vibes. I know we all love BF2, and I know you guys probably don't remember the single player too much, but what's the name? Operation Cinder. I got one name. It kind of reminds me of that, where we're like, just get rid of everybody. You know, where here they need resources, and, you know, I was like, why can't you just go take the planet and get the resource? And then they're like, but it's probably going to destroy the planet. I'm like, oh, we're getting into that deep stuff. We're not just conquering a planet because they're slapping our wrist, not giving resources. It's like, we're going to kill everybody if they don't. And let's face it, they're like, we could forcefully move. Ain't nobody got time or funds for that. They don't even got funds to get this stuff. They ain't going to have time for 800,000 people to do it, you know. So it will be interesting to see. I think what's going to happen, again, I could be wrong, knock on wood. They're going to do some horrible shit there, and it's going to help inspire people to join the rebellion, and we're going to lead off with that. Because you got to show that if you're going to make the Empire out to be the bad guys, let's face it, they got to be the bad guys. So I would imagine they're going to do something incredibly gruesome, and I only hope they don't shy away from it when the moment comes, you know. I hope they have the balls to stick the landing, and if it's going to get gruesome, make it gruesome. Again, I'm not saying Game of Thrones level of, you know, blood and blah, blah, blah. I'm just, you know what I mean. When it comes time to do the deed, don't shy away from it. Let it be gruesome. Let it be sad. If people cry, let them cry. It's part of the show, right? Just put it out there. Let's not cut away like, oh my god, the planet! Do it! They press a button and then everybody goes back and we cut to somebody dancing, Mom Mothma dancing. I'm like, no, 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 no. Stay on target. We gotta see this, dude. We gotta see through. We gotta see it through. That's my hope, and I think they will. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. I only hope we don't have to wait till the very end to get that, but we'll just have to see. I'm a little nervous though. I'm just wondering what's gonna happen next episode now. So where are they going now? Like, they saved his friends, except the one who died, or maybe didn't die, wink, wink. I don't know, my gut feeling's telling me there's something fishy going on. But, where are they going to go after that? Where are they going to meet up? Are they going to meet up with Luthen? I would imagine that's probably where he's going to go. She's going to relay coordinates like, go here. Why'd you risk coming here with that new ship? Blah, 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 blah. That's going to leave a trail to the Empire that might, like, lead to us. Like, okay, they stole the ship. This ship popped up here. These are the people we were looking for. We caught them on tape doing this. It relates back to Andor. Dedra Mira's gonna hear that and be like, oh shit, I need to get this, you know. And so is, what's his name? What's the little bitch name? I don't know his name. I forgot. You know who I'm talking about. It's probably gonna pique their interest, and now they're together, so yeah, that's probably how it's gonna go. His job's gonna, they're gonna catch on through his job and that office job that they're gonna get some intel to do something and blah 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 blah. I think that's where the story's gonna start. I really think Andor going there to save him is probably gonna be the thing that brings him on the trail. But yeah, what else? The graphics, I didn't really talk about it. The graphics look so much better. So much better, especially when you compare them to Acolyte. Skeleton Crew's graphics were pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't dislike it. I get we're not getting the 10 out of 10 best stuff you've ever seen, but it's good. I'm perfectly fine with these graphics. Where on not Skeleton Crew, on Acolyte, I'm like, dude, this is clearly a cardboard cutout sitting in front of a background. Like, it looks so bad. And I get if you look at anything, even in Andor, you're gonna see that it's not real, right? But it just looked much more doable compared to what we saw in the Acolyte. So from that aspect, I'm good. And like I said, I know this doesn't pertain to this story as of right now, but when the time comes in the Ahsoka series or movie or Mando, wherever it comes to see Thrawn and him having ships, and most likely we're gonna get some space battles. I can't be having bad visuals for that. We need to see some good shit, right? And Acolyte scares me if they go down that route. But Skeleton Crew and now Andor have looked good. So I'm alright. They clearly have the power to do it. Now let's just hope when the time comes they do it. Let's not make it look bad, though. That's all I'm saying. So let's hope for that going forward, but and hopefully Andor sticks to the landing of the overall show, not just these 3 episodes, and everybody loves it. Let's hope it gets a more positive feedback than season 1, and it helps show Disney that they can do more adult themed. I know that sounds wrong because I mean it's not HBO level of adultness, right? We just had The Last of Us season 2 with if you know, you know. Like, you're not getting that, I don't think, from Star Wars. That level of dang, you know, like we're probably gonna avoid that. But again, the closest thing we're probably gonna get there is Gorman, because to be fair, we know Andor doesn't die here, so we know what happens in Rogue One, and none of the other characters I'm particularly super fond of to the point of, oh my god, if they die, this is gonna be sad. Luthen's probably the one. Luthen. We know Mon Mothma's not going. Her sister, I like her character, but let's face it, you know, it's not gonna be super emotional for me, at least as of right now. Maybe they'll show something and make it awesome, right? But Luthen's the only dude I'm like, that's my dude right there. It's gonna suck, and he probably, let's face it, he probably ain't making it through this season because we don't see him anywhere. So I would imagine at some point Luthen's gonna go out, and I only hope he dies in a pile of lead. Not that they shoot lead with their guns, but you get what I'm saying. He's going down, and he's taking dudes with him, and it's gonna be awesome. I hope for a glorious death for him. The rest of them, whatever. Andor's friends, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care. I'm gonna be completely honest. I love the show, but I don't really care about them. They haven't built them up to the point where I'm like, oh my god, dude, you know. So we'll just see. Maybe they'll do that in the future episodes. But as of now, Luthen's the only dude where I'm like, oh my goodness, that's gonna suck when he goes, because he's probably my favorite. He's over there playing Game of Thrones while everybody playing Disney Channel shit, right? Like, he's over there like watching them talk, and he's like, dude, you can't trust this guy, Mon. What are you doing, Mon? You gotta do something about this. He keeps going over there, and then Luthen like, yo, let me take this out, you know, like, he needs to go. And she's like, no, I'm gonna talk to him. And he doesn't say it, but you know, he's like, this conversation is never gonna happen. Something's gonna happen before then. We need to take him out. Like, he's a step ahead of everybody else. And by the time this is all said and done, I think he's gonna be incredibly responsible for the rebellion even getting to get off the ground. Where Mon, even though she's doing good, I feel like she's, at least as of right now, not willing to go down the routes you need to do to win the war, right? She's trying to fight a war with, you know, nicer means, but let's face it, sometimes you just gotta bash people's faces in, right? Like, it's a reality, right? And again, it's Star Wars, not Star Let's Be Friends, right? So Luthen's playing the game where Mon, she's good, but she needs to get pushed over that, and I think Luthen's gonna help push her down that path of we need to get this done, you know. So that's good. That's why I like the whole scene. And I, you know, another nitpick, people, I bet you, again, I haven't looked, but I bet y'all, some of you complaining, the music is in Star Wars. The music is in Star Wars. They're dancing. Shut the up, dude. I swear to God, I'm like, I actually like that scene. I'm like, let's go, dude. Let me get, I want that song too, dude. Woo, I'm gonna do the dance too. Fucking just twirling hands. I could do that dance. Gotta make it relatable. I'm like, that was okay. I liked it. I didn't have a problem with the music. Now, if you had some rapper going, hey, yo, man, West Side from Chicago, you know, like, I'm like, okay, now this is stupid. This is something else entirely. But just this music, it was fine. I liked it. I enjoyed the scene. Again, it was building up to a big moment. She was drinking like, oh my God, I can't believe we're gonna do this. Building up. And then they didn't show the murder. That's all I'm saying. I feel like, for me personally, I feel like that's the main thing that kind of held me back on the 3 episodes. I'm like, dude, if you had just shown it, it annoys me they didn't show it. And all I'm saying is I hope the reason they didn't show the murder of the guy that I can't remember his name, but the dude who's gonna rat you out, basically, I just hope they actually have a reason for the next episode to save it to the next episode. Like, it's not gonna, we're not gonna just start the episode and pew, they shoot him, because if they just do that, it's gonna mess up. They should have shown that then on this episode, ended it, and moved forward. So if you keep it, you need it to be big, right? So whatever they're gonna do, I feel like it's gonna be more important than just killing them. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But worst case scenario for me when it comes to that is if we start the next episode and they just skip right through it. That's bad. Like, even if you physically don't want to show them murder because Disney execs or whatever wouldn't, you know, which doesn't make sense because we already saw that. We saw that in Rogue One. We saw that in Andor. In season 1. And didn't we even shoot? He shot what's his name? He shot one of the dudes in the ship when he was escaping. So I'm like, you're willing to show people get shot? That's not that much different, right? You just showed a girl get R-worded almost. So like, if they just don't show that and they just cut, I think that's gonna be a mistake. That will be my big man. Y'all needed to do better on that, but. Overall, I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I'm very happy it's here. Finally, something to watch. And something good so far with Star Wars. Again, I don't want it to sound like I disliked it because I voiced, you know, constructive criticism. I enjoy that. I am not disappointed by watching for, I'm guessing what, I didn't look at how long the episodes were. I'm imagining they're an hour each. So, I'm not disappointed. I'm definitely excited to see next week. I can't wait, especially when we start getting into the nitty-gritty. I'm glad for me personally they teased Gorman. or I hope I'm saying the name right, they tease some major operation happening that's probably going to get gruesome. Because for people like me who want to see gruesome and not just see Lizzo and like, oh my god, that's Jack Black. Those guys, they like everything, dude. Those guys, those are simpletons. They're monkeys. You can make them enjoy your shows good. But for people like me, I need better writing and I need a possibility of bad stuff in a weird way, right? Like, you need the bad guys to be bad and I need the good guys to kind of be bad, if that makes sense. Because you can't just win in life with, oh my god, stop war. Like, it's not that easy. If only it were that easy. That's why I liked Rogue One and Andor so much, season 1, because they're fighting for the right cause. I don't know, I'm kind of an Imperial sympathizer, but you get what I'm saying, right? But they're still willing to do dark shit. Just like Luthen is about to go bust a cap in his mother trucker here. You sometimes gotta do dark stuff, and it's the right move to make. It's wrong morally, but it's the right move. I like seeing that confliction. That's one of the reasons I really like them building up with Luthen's like, we gotta get this done. He's more like me in this case, where I'm like, let's get rid of him. Wait, what? Like, I jumped the gun. We're getting rid of him. He's gonna rat us out. And she's like, no, we don't want to. You know, I'm like, we need to get rid of him. You know, so Luthen's more like me. I'm on the side of let's just kill, you know, get this over with. Where Mon's trying not to, but she's starting to realize this is gonna have to happen. You're endangering the entire rebellion by your morals getting in the way. And you know ultimately that you're making the right move. You need this to happen. You need this guy out of the picture because he knows too much, and he's gonna get a lot of you killed, and the rebellion falls, right? Not only does it endanger your family, blah, 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 but overall the objective of you leading the rebellion and starting this process is gonna fail. So you need to be able and willing to do this when the time comes. And she, in a weird way, I know she was just out partying, she's just kind of accepting, like, this is happening. Oh man, I just ordered. She didn't really order it, but you know, you could stop it, but you didn't. You know, so she ultimately is agreeing with it, conflicted, but she's like, do it, basically, without having to say it. That's why the scene was so good, and I feel like it could have been the cherry on top had they shown it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm probably forgetting a lot of stuff. I don't know. I feel like we already talked a long time about this, but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts, because I'm actually really curious. Again, I haven't watched anybody else's opinion or nothing. No Easter egg videos, no, oh my god, she wore pants. You know, none of those dumb people. I was going to use other words, but we're trying not to get demonetized. So let me know your thoughts. Did you guys like it? If you did, what did you like? If you didn't like it, what didn't you like? And hey, if you could like it and then didn't like this part too, that's kind of where I'm at. I liked it, but I had a little bit like, this could have been a little bit better. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm genuinely curious to see what actual Star Wars fans are saying, and not just the rage bait you see on social media like Twitter, for example. We don't got none of those viewers here. Very few of them, at least, because we'll bully them out of here. No matter what side they're on. If you come in happy, oh my god, you know, like, I'm gonna bully you. And if you come in, oh my god, I can't believe they showed a male in a subdominant position to a female. You know, like, if they're gonna go overboard with that, I'm like, dude, just, it's embarrassing. Both sides of that are embarrassing. We got real people here, so let me know your thoughts. Anyway, I'm gonna start rambling. I'll see you guys later. Bye.